Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. I am stoked you're here. Today, I was going to take probably a segment of my collection that has the least representation and run through kind of what I have in the Tanto style. Now, there's some that are a little questionable that won't make this little list, but I think this list will kind of be pretty representative of what I have in Tantos, both in fixed blades and mainly folders. But guys, first thing I want to do is thank all my channel members. I appreciate you more than you know. I want to thank everybody that takes the time to come by and watch the videos. I appreciate you. Anyone who feels inclined to take the time to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon, it helps the channel from what I hear, and I really appreciate that. I know a lot of y'all are doing it, and I just want you to know I'm very grateful. This first little Tanto is just kind of a tease. It's a Tanto, it's in my collection. It is definitely one of my favorite little EDC fixed blades, and it's a Joey Roman made in the USA called his small EDC Tanto. It has got a hollow chisel grind on the lower section here, and then it's got a flat chisel on the top. Very, very slicey, great little knife. And even though it looks a little different, as all these Tantos will, they'll all kind of be defined by having that point where the two edges come together. So starting off, just to get us started, is this little USA made Joey Roman EDC Tanto. Great little knife. So moving on, we will go to a folder. This is one of the first Damn Design knives I actually picked up, and this was, I want to say, about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. It was back before they did the budget releases. This was one of the knives that was still on their site. It's in titanium, carbon fiber, M390. It's got this really, really acute, sharp, flat grind here at the main cutting angle, and also here at the top. Has really nice action. I like it because it is blacked out and the carbon fiber is black, the hardware is black. You do have a reversible clip there if that's something you're into, maybe. I take that back. I don't know if that's a reversible clip or not. Anyway, who knows? Could be. The only downside for me on this knife is it is a flipper only. On the positive side, this poon is kind of a little extra bonus and really giving this knife some good ergonomics and feels, making it feel really good in my hand. Has a pretty nice sharpening choil here. Quality materials. I guess I probably should be cutting. Is that cheating if I don't cut? So the Damn Designs Yokai or Yoki is sharp, tanto-y, and probably one of the first Tantos or nicer Tantos I brought into my collection. This managed to hang around this long. So that is the first one that we're going to look at today. As we move on, we'll come to one that kind of came into the collection a little later, and one of my favorite TwoSuns, and definitely one of my most unique Tantos that I really like. And this is a Night Morning Designs. It is the TwoSun TS something 301. I forget, but if you Google, and I'll put it in the description before I post this video, but it is a mid-range price knife, probably right around $100. It has this deep, deep, deep hollow grind and this very sharp, sharp flat that's literally a splinter digger if you want it to be. So you've got really good slicing power here, and then you've got very good puncturability, which I probably should have gone into that when we were talking about Tantos and what they're designed for, what they do well, and what they don't do as well. But I don't think I need to even necessarily insult your intelligence. Use your, we can just use our imagination. Yes, it's very slicey. It's got a very acute front point, but where it's most effective is pokey stabby. But again, super, super cool knife. This guy was around $100 in titanium and in 14C, 28N. So it is, I think, a really good steel. The action, it is a flicker or thumb flipper. And you guys know I don't like the thumb flick, so that looks clumsy. But I do like to reverse flick. And this knife is dialed in. The detent is, I think, tuned for a reverse flick. I think it feels great in a reverse flick. And I love the look of that aggressive Tanto. And again, I think that's a night morning design. I could be wrong. But anyways, this is another killer Tanto. So as we move on, and as you guys will see, I don't have a ton of Tantos or Tantos in my collection. So this is our same designer, and it could be night, morning. I see what looks like an MWD. Um, this knife is a larger in terms of when I think of larger, not in a bad way. I'm thinking of it like a Chavez. Um, it is very well tuned. It is made out of high quality materials and it is put together very, very well. Even if you look at where this back spacer, which runs almost the whole length of the knife, is slotted out and the blade's perfectly centered. You've got your relief cut on the inside of that kind of bolster lock. And then you've got this M390 blade that I think is just super cool. It is thin behind the edge here. And I want to say that is the flat. Yeah, that's a shallow, tall flat. And then you've got this much beefier tip. So if we're going to break out our Cuddy Cuddy coupon book, try to get one without a staple in it. I don't know if y'all can hear that or the lack of that noise. I mean, you can barely even hear it cutting through that paper. And then that front, even though it's much fatter and could be used as a pry bar, it is very sharp. But another fantastic specimen from TwoSun. The action is to die for. Drop shutty, very robust, has a very robust choil. It's that bolster lock or concealed frame lock, M390, carbon fiber, and titanium. Just a really cool Tanto. So as we move on, we will jump into probably my sharpest Tanto and a born in the USA Tanto. This is my Sig Sauer Hogue K320. And guys, this is a little screaming razor. This is an S30V, CPM S30V. It is done with a polymer grip, which to me feels like my 365, feels like a PPU grip. It's got steel liners that really give this knife a little bit of heft. The springs in the axis or bar style lock suck the blade back in very well. It's an ambidextrous lock. I can thumb flick it, or I can reverse flick it. I can just axis lock it or bar lock it out. You've got a 1, 2, 3, 4-way adjustable pocket clip. So it is truly an ambidextrous knife. You've got a far back grip, kind of a defensive grip, and then you've got this choil. And then guys, you have got, this has not been sharpened. This knife's been in my collection for a little bit over a year. Been carried a bunch. There's a little spot right there. Let's check the front. it would not suffer from a stropping. But this guy's is probably one of the best values in a USA made pocket knife, but also in a Tanto if that's something that you're interested in. And as far as Tantos go or Tantos, this is one of my favorites. And that's the Sig Sauer Hogue Made in America K320 Tanto. A banger. I think this cost me right around $142, something like that. So moving on, we've got one more born in the USA Tonto, guys, and this is my Medford Midi Marauder. My Medford Midi Marauder is an S35VN in titanium. It is very thick. It's what I would consider an overbuilt knife. Has a deep hollow grind here that's a little bit smutsy, and then it has a very, very stiff, flat, or thick flat grind up front. So if we're going to take our paper, and guys, this is a very thick blade. I don't know what our, I should know, but I don't. So we would say that the blade thickness, blade stock is 0.19, so under a quarter an inch, but not much. And then the hollow grind starts about halfway down. But guys, this knife, for as large as it is, will shave paper. If I use the front, which is a pry bar, it's a little harder to get it started. But trust me when I tell you, it is sharp. And for what Tantos do so well, kind of tear and rip and puncture, the Medford Midi Marauder in the Tanto blade shape has been a winner for me. I love the way the knife looks. I love the way the knife carries. I love the fact that it's a made in America knife. I'll just leave it at that. And that is the Medford Midi Marauder in the Tanto. Moving on to my final Tanto. Now, I say that with a caveat. It is my final Tanto that is currently in my possession. I have a Tanto that I just purchased. It shouldn't be much of a surprise, but I'll let it be a surprise. When it comes in later this week, I'll do an unboxing, but I'm stoked about it. But this is one that has really stole my pocket time for the last week and a half. And this is the EMP EDC Ronin. Guys, EMP EDC, and I'm going to do a video kind of cataloging my EMP EDC collection and my journey down the road, getting to meet John, Jamie, how I've just kind of grown with the company, kind of I feel like with them and the company, and the products that they're bringing to market from a design standpoint are out of this world. And this knife, I want to say, guys, they just get better and better. But this is a fantastic knife. It is, of course, a Tanto. It has a deep hollow grind here. Got a deep flat here. You've got this nice swedge here balancing the blade out. Very slicey. The front, which could be a pry bar, is also very slicey. Guys, this is Elmax. So this knife is made out of Elmax steel and titanium. I love the way that the pocket clip and the milling on the knife work together. I love the gold accents. I've always been a fan of their pivot collars. The front flipper on this, with you guys, which you guys should by now know, I'm not a big fan of front flippers. This front flipper is, you can't fail it. It's just that good. And again, for me, a reverse flick guy, this knife to me is dainty, even though when I show it to you, when I do the full review on it and I compare it with some other knives like the EMP Relative, the length is about the same, but it is more nimble, should I say? No, it's kind of weird to say that. I won't say nimble, but it's thinner, right? But yet thicker. So it's thinner in height, thicker in beefiness, and just an all around departure from what they do every day, which is something different. and it makes me smile when I get a design like this, like I did in Blade Show, and I put it in my pocket, and my buddy gets one and brings it back, and I just simply fall in love with the knife, and then I see that there's going to be a drop, and I'm able to grab one. It was a blessing. I'm stoked that I was able to, but guys, just a great knife. Probably my number one Tanto in the group right now. After this video, it's going back in my pocket. But we have got the EMP EDC Ronin. We've got the Medford Midi Marauder. We've got the Hogue Ritter, or the Hogue, not Ritter, Sig Sauer K320. And I can't see where my tip is now. We've got the TwoSun in M390. This is the Sidewinder, is the actual name of this knife. And then we've got this other TwoSun, which I think is a 301. It's not an M390 like this one. This one's in 14C. And then we have the old school Dam Designs. What was this guy called again? The Yokai. Yoki. And then we started out by looking at the super cool little Joey Roman EDC Tanto fixed blade, guys, with a really killer BOA micarta handle, great 1095 tool steel, and just a winter knife. But guys, that's what I've got for you today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for stopping by. Thank you, channel members, for always being supportive. Please, guys, if you would, look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.